Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from the
Your company name here.
studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast with your hosts Gordon and Don Abernathy.
What's up, OG5? It's Wednesday, and we're back where we belong. Not that we ever moved anywhere before other than from Sunday, then we went to Monday, then Tuesday. Now we're on Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe another 3 years we'll be back to Saturday and on our way to Sunday again.
Consistently.
Inconsistent.
Although we were consistent for quite some time.
Yes.
But then we got too consistent, so we had to shake up the Scrabble board of days. And
what's going on, Mike and Gordon? Howdy do.
It was the pre-show was let's see how frustrated we can make Don.
I'm not frustrated.
Okay.
Aggravation.
You know, we got our crackpot team of audio analysts. I said analyst.
Analyst or analyst?
Checking in to the wonderful worlds of guideline communication violations.
Oh, you got an update?
Bitches.
Well, I tracked down the episode. It was an episode that aired sometime in January 2021. Didn't get dinged by the fine people over at YouTube until December 26th of 2022. It's 134 minutes of podcast gold, and I have the crackpot team of audio experts listening to every last second, trying to pin, peg, or pull phrases, words, or anything else out that might cohere with their explanation of the community guideline in which we have violated, which is super vague. And as of right now, I'm going to say I'm 30 minutes into it, and I don't hear anything that's even... There wasn't even so much as a Pollock joke thrown around. So maybe next week's episode will have in-depth detail from the crackpot audiologist team that's checking into this episode to determine why it is the fine people over at YouTube has determined that video shall not be seen by the general public.
You offended somebody. You pissed somebody off. That's it. That's all it comes down to.
Don, did you know Kids in the Hall ran from 88 to 2021?
Cause trouble. Hurt someone's feelings. Oh, yet he didn't want to do it. Yes, troublesome people are often people in trouble. They may be mentally ill. Find out how you can help. Write Better Mental Health, Box 3000, New York 1, New York.
You know how the Kids in the Hall got their name?
That sounder right there.
You know that I was waiting to see if maybe we used to play the standards and practices. What are standards and practices? I'm waiting to see if that's on there, because I could see that triggering something. Because on face value, it was designed to trigger something. So, but am I hot? Like, I'm in the red over on this end. Whatever.
You mean your camera image?
No, my audio's pegging in the red over here.
No, you sound fine.
I know you guys enjoy pegging, but sometimes in certain situations, pegging.
Docking. Get it correct.
Oh, you're a front guy,
he
not a
knows
back
the terms. Okay, now I need a definition because my old ass don't know what that is.
Docking?
I know what dry docking is. That's a bad joke to pull on somebody.
From what I understand.
You're a plumber. You got to know what dry docking is. Come on, what's dry docking? Come on, Mike.
I honestly don't know.
Don?
Nope, no idea. That must be
drain the tank and take a shit in the fucking tank.
Oh, that's called an upper decker.
That's an upper decker all day long.
Dry docking.
That's an upper decker because it's in the chamber higher.
Now I gotta look it up.
That's an upper decker.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what an upper decker is.
Dry docking, Urban Dictionary.
So,
I've luckily never run into one.
From what I understand,
until tomorrow.
Fuck.
No, I'm sorry. It's the act of defecating on a bathroom floor just to the side of the toilet bowl.
Dry docking.
Half right.
That makes a little more sense.
3/4 right because it's still near the toilet bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a little more sense than the upper decker.
A practice commonly carried out as a prank by college-aged partygoers.
I like how they refer to it as a practice.
Dry dock, to emulate sex with an engorged fuck stick, but fully or partially clothed. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. All right.
Docking is
Yeah. Why don't you explain that?
I saw what you
explain that, Don. Explain what docking is.
When
this may get you fucking community guidelines.
When two
Fellas?
medically modified gentlemen who are fully equipped with all the skin that God gave them take their tools, if you will,
okay,
and the two tools shall meet, and then one of them takes their skin that was given upon them at birth and kind of roll it the other direction as a Chinese finger cuff. Follow me?
I think Don's gone too far down the rabbit hole of porn.
No, I worked in radio for 6 years.
I do actually see that. That's further down on the Urban Dictionary. So.
Well, that was at the top of the list about 7 years ago when I worked in FM radio. That phrase was thrown around quite a bit. And when I was playing Modern Warfare 2 with the boys from Jersey.
Both uncircumcised, puts one head in foreskin over the other hand.
See? Exactly as I explained it. Exactly how I explained it.
This is why the terrorists hate us.
I think my definition was more classy. You could almost tell my version in church.
And it would be just as quiet as that was afterwards.
I think technically,
you hear that mouse fart?
It could be one dude
that has his original birthing equipment. Yeah, I guess.
Now we're talking uncircumcised, right?
Well,
we're talking about original birthing.
Correct. Correct. The original skin that God put you upon this earth with. So that's where we're at.
All right.
So 2 weeks from now, I'll be trying to go through
Welcome to the What's in Your Head podcast.
Well, you know what? It'll be easy to find because it's within the first 5 minutes.
No, actually,
we're talking about dry docking, upper deckers, and
sex sells, fellas.
Apparently, it's what's in our fucking head today. Speaking of that, see this hat I'm wearing?
Yes. It's your Peaky
Blinder. I got 4
Blinder.
variations of this hat. Something very, I find almost old-timey and classy happened to me.
What's that?
And we got this park I walk the dogs at, and what it is, the trail wraps around a frisbee golf course.
Mm-hmm. A disc golf course, if you're in the know.
The two doggos, a younger gentleman.
How to do?
And his lady friend were playing.
How dare you assume her?
He had one of them Gilligan style hats on.
Gilligan style hats?
The kind of the rim, and it looks like a fisherman's hat.
Okay.
Yeah. With the red and blue band around the...
Okay, yeah.
He looked at me. He said, "Hey, man, nice cap." So, well, thank you, sir. You too. And then nice promptly, because of who I am, I did a rendition of Filter in my head. I like to say, "Hey, man, nice cap." But the fact of the matter is he used the word cap.
Congratulations on your dog dad joke. I mean, that was a straight up dad joke, but you're not a dad, so that was a dog dad joke.
Did you tip your hat and say thank you, sir?
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. Have you
stuffed my cap?
Have you brought back the tipping of the cap? See, even that nowadays would be relegated because remember the whole how that got turned into something
silly.
I know,
what
but
the hell is that? That's
my point is that means kind of like fuck off.
Is that the gang sign of the hat? World?
No, it was like just fuck off.
It almost looks like a fuck off.
Yeah, but that got turned. Oh, that's a white. Stop.
Kind of like this.
No, well that
okay,
too,
buddy.
But the guy who popularized that on TikTok was Korean, so I don't know where the relation, the anywho.
It's like Mike Glover of Fieldcraft Survival getting hit. They're calling him a white supremacist, and he's half Korean.
I know you live across the street from a 7-Eleven.
Yes.
How many?
And a McDonald's now, by the way.
Moving on up to the east side.
Down. Really? Couldn't it have been just like some nice local fare?
Well, let me ask you this: how would you feel about stealth?
Maybe not.
I already think about stealth. Self-storage.
Holy fuck! Where are you going today?
I don't know.
Like
Self-storage.
Comes from a guy with a dick on his head.
Self-storage units. Where do you guys stand on those?
That is just down the street, almost across from the neighborhood from me. Where I stand on those, it doesn't fucking matter. Nothing reduces your property value, period.
Are we bringing back up the conversation of...
Don thinking the property value is going down because there's a storage unit going up.
Well, I think the self-storage units give the area a industrial park feeling. especially the one
Actually,
I have down the
some of them are a little
street.
schmancy these days.
I know, but now they're like 3 foot tall, and they got stucco on them, and then they have all the surrounding ones. We have them all.
Well, would you rather have a self-storage unit or a homeless encampment?
Well, some might argue one begets the other.
Yeah, that's true.
You always have that shifty guy. Well, you always have that shifty guy who thinks he can get away with living in his storage unit.
So a quarter mile down the street, there's a hospital. Behind the hospital went in a BHO. Do you know what a BHO is?
No.
Behavioral Health Hospital.
Oh. A nut house.
After that happened, our homeless population swelled a little around here. I bid on that job. I had mixed emotions because it's in my neighborhood. But, yeah.
Well, we have, within probably 3 miles from my place, like 3 or 4 of them.
Well, that's 3 miles from your place. It's not across the street. Kitty corner.
One of them is. Actually, if I pull out on the main thoroughfare, go down 2 blocks, there's a big-ass one right there. Right at the main intersection. The same intersection where my daughter T-boned a person and ran over the crosswalk.
The new one by the gas station?
Is that the one with the car with the pop-off wheels?
That's the one where my insurance paid for the new crosswalk sign. Anyhow, Dateline, Cape Coral, Florida. I know this is a worldwide show, but we're going to stay regional here. Cape Coral possibly halting construction of future self-storage facility. I say good.
Somebody's got their panties in a bunch. It's all people like Don.
Yes. The city of Cape Coral could be saying no to more self-storage facilities. Quote, "It's just getting out of hand," one resident, William Powell, said.
Everywhere, though, dude.
In a public hearing next month,
shit.
City Council, well, maybe that's a problem. Maybe if you don't need it, regular access to it, maybe you don't need it. Just saying. Says the guy who can't park his cars in the garage because he's got too much shit out there.
Mm-hmm.
Says the guy who can't use this room because he's surrounded by a bunch of shit that was made 80 years ago. Anyhow, in a public hearing next month, City Council will discuss halting all permits, site plans, and development.
The other day, Don needs a storage unit. He can't find any because they're all booked up.
For storage units within all zoning districts as of January 19th, 2024, well, that's not soon enough. The city already has 1.5 million square feet of storage space and permitted or under construction. There is another 1.5 million square feet of existing storage space. So that's 1.5 that they're under construction and 1.
It's called 3 million.
That's already out there. The city said that the lack
Amazon facility at 2 million.
The city said,
I don't see that as a lot.
The city said that the lack of basement and attic space in Southwest Florida, there's a demand for space, but they are taking up prime real estate and are a little close together. Ain't that the goddamn truth?
Well, I do relate with the lack of basement. One thing we had nicely in the Midwest was basements. Mm-hmm. Out here in the desert, much like Florida, for opposite reasons, we don't have basements unless you have a lot of money because we have something called caliche. Caliche takes a lot of drilling and digging to get out. You have sandy, wet water, so you just have flooded basements every day of the week.
Yeah. On Burnt Store Road, where Dad used to live, there are some proposed regulations like keeping facilities 400 feet away from the main thoroughfare and 1,000 feet away from each other. The public hearing is coming April 15th. So
you're saying they don't want a self-storage facility on self-storage facility crime next to each other?
Yeah, it's just all over the damn place.
That's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I still got turd dry dock up on my screen? Let me move that away.
You're weird, man. Turd dry dock.
Well, I know the name of the episode now.
Dry docking.
Oh, your listenership's going to go through the roof.
Oh yeah.
At least for the first 5 minutes. After that, I'll probably fall off. Why am I listening to this podcast? There's another 2.1 million out there you can listen to too.
You ever find it kind of annoying, like when you see a commercial come out, some fast food joint or something's trying to jump on some TikTok trend. They hire a TikToker, and that trend's like already 8 months old. It's like it's passe. Apparently, our friends.
How long do TikTok trends last? What is the good time frame? Is it 15 seconds?
Like fucking
3 minutes?
A week or two, maybe.
This is why we got problems.
The songs and things last a little longer because people keep reutilizing them in all their videos.
Oh no! Oh no!
But apparently,
Where's your sounder?
apparently Buffalo Wild Wings, you know, they're in the news lately, and they figure they can't let good publicity go to waste. And so their marketing department got a hold of a TikToker to create a new commercial.
It's a no-bones day, I just stay in bed. Buffalo Ranch, 2 titans of sauce. Noodles said it's fine if I don't get dressed. Brought together in a spicy, tangy, buttery sauce super team. So good, it's not even. Alright, if I don't leave my house all night, it's a no-bones day. At Buffalo Wild
300 pounds.
Buffalo Wild Wings admits boneless wings are not wings after a lawsuit states that it's true that they're not wings. Have you heard this story?
I have not, but I am offended by combination of ranch and buffalo wings sauce. I'm a blue cheese guy on wings.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I like a good blue cheese.
But I do like their super hot, the new ghost pepper one.
You know, because life in Chicago is a true just nirvana. It's just,
yeah, I know. That's why half the people in this town's from Chicago.
It's just like there's nothing going on. They've almost established world, like their essence of world peace.
It's peaceful there, right?
It's very peaceful. There's nothing going on in the
Kumbaya.
courts. Yeah, there's nothing going on in the courts. The courts are empty. The jails are empty. It's just fucking they figured it out.
Nary armed robbery to be found.
And so because there's so many judges sitting around with nothing to do, so many lawyers available, all just, out golfing, a Chicago man decided to maybe help contribute to the legal system by providing some work for some out-of-work lawyers, and judges have nothing better to fucking do because there's nothing going on in Chicago at all. Mm-hmm. A Chicago man filed a lawsuit against a chicken wing chain last week for false advertising. And he has a point. Saying that boneless wings are overpriced since they are basically chicken nuggets.
Oh, absolutely. I always had said that boneless wings are just fucking chicken nuggets or chicken tenders. That's all they are. And they are. They're priced higher than the regular wings.
Amim Halim alleges the lawsuit against Buffalo Wild Wings and franchisor Inspire Brands, Inc. that boneless wings are just, quote, slices of chicken breast meat deep fried like wings, and that customers would either pay less for the boneless wing or not purchase them at all if they knew what the product was made of. I would say that the go-to argument is they're more expensive because you have to pay for the scraping of all that chicken off the floor, packing it together into a nugget, deep frying it, and then freezing it. Whereas a chicken wing is already cut. We just batter it and you get more meat on the chicken nugget. I'm sure ounce to ounce.
You get more meat on a nugget, and it probably all comes from Tyson pre-made anyway.
And so I don't know. I really don't have. I mean, I like chicken wings, but I guess it depends on the quality.
I actually clown people for getting, at my age and people in their 30s and that. I'm like, you're getting boneless chicken wings. What are you, fucking 10? What do you mean, man?
This is a clear-cut case of false advertising should not be permitted, and consumers should be able to rely on the plain meaning of a product's name and receive what they were promised, the lawsuit stated, according to the Fox television station out of Chicago. Now, Buffalo Wild Wings are sarcastically confirming the allegations in the lawsuit while revealing a well-known fact that other foods they sell do not contain what is included in the product names. They put out a tweet that says, it's true. The restaurant chain tweeted on Monday, our boneless wings are all white meat breasts of chicken, our hamburgers contain no ham, and our buffalo wings contain zero buffalo. Ha ha ha. And the lawsuit,
they should literally lean into it on their menus now. It says boneless wings, and in parentheses it says, seriously, some asshole tried to sue us for calling these things boneless chicken.
The man
wings.
claimed that he purchased boneless wings from the restaurant in January, but regretted his purchase after learning what they were made of. As a result,
slippery slope. You get the regular traditional wings. Half of them are drumsticks.
What the hell?
No, that's not a wing. That's a drumstick.
As a result, Mr. Halim suffered financial injury.
What?
Quote, as a result, this is exactly how it's written. It's written horribly. As a result, Mr. Halim suffered a financial injury as a result of the defendant's, quote, false and deceptive conduct, the lawsuit read.
You hire Saul Goodman?
How much do these fucking chicken wings cost? Buffalo Wild Wings began selling boneless chicken wings. I've been eating these things 20 years ago.
10 years, and I just now discovered that they're actually not chicken wings.
The complainant cites a news report stating the restaurant started selling boneless wings because of the rise in cost of actual chicken wings and the reduced cost of chicken breast. He is suing on allegations of false and deceptive business practices. So what does he win? Like he get his $38 back, not including the tip? Or is he like going for multi-million dollars?
Supply of boneless chicken wings.
I just don't understand how shit like that.
Chicago accent, even though I live with, married into a family of them.
I just don't understand how shit like that even makes it into court. It has to get stopped at mediation, right? I mean, like, we'll get with some mediators and we'll give you like $38 and a lifetime supply of fucking French fries. They're not going to give him chicken wings because clearly he doesn't like them. They're not to his standard.
How about not buy them? Just get the fucking traditional wings and shut the fuck up.
But
when I go to a restaurant and I pick something to eat and I don't like it,
give it back.
And I choose to go back to that restaurant.
Boo on you, bud.
Fucking get something else.
This guy right here, I boycotted El Polo Tropical for about a year and a half. Went back and then realized why I stopped going a year and a half. What's that?
So you're talking about yourself there, this boy here?
Right. Yeah, after the debacle during COVID and the prepaid, which we did a whole episode on.
Have you started going back?
Went back once, and it was garbage, and we're done with it. It was horrible. Horrible quality. Everything's just rubbish.
Speaking of horrible.
Rubbish.
I had a doctor's appointment today.
How'd that go?
Not good. A shot in my finger because I got trigger finger. Actually, my palm right here. But the thing that pissed me off, doctor wants you to be there 45 minutes before your
you got to fill out paperwork.
I filled out the paperwork online. Okay, a half hour before. I get there, 2 of the sheets I filled out evidently didn't populate in the system. And they were now required a pencil so we can Scantron it. So I have to get there 45 minutes early so I can sit around for an additional hour beyond my fucking appointment time. Seriously. Now the place is busy as shit. They're probably the only real big orthopedic surgery centers in the city. Fucking come on, man. Come on, man.
Well, there's a lot of people who's got bad feet and whatnot from all the hours of pacing around the casino floors looking for the one-armed bandit that's going to pay out.
Looked at him and said, "No, lucky me." He goes, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Apparently it's my right side now. Now I get a shot in my foot and a shot in my hand."
To which he said,
"Plantar fasciitis for the foot. That motherfucker hurts."
They go like right into the arch?
No, right into the fucking heel.
Ew.
Ain't no good. Now, the second time around wasn't so bad, but the first time he goes, "Oh, that's fucking tight." I was like, "Yeah, about 20 years worth of tight." I hadn't done anything about it except throw in arch supports. So, hey, dudes, love them. I can't wear them.
Yeah, they don't. Hey, dudes don't exactly provide the best arch support.
They will be great for a long drive-in.
Yep. Mine kind of took a little while to get used to because when I first wore them, because like, but then again, I wear Adidas.
I actually pulled out that super soft, squishy insole I had to put in my hard as hell supportive sole when I wear
added 4 ounces to that shoe.
If that's a problem, and this is what I tell people, is I heard somebody bitch about I don't use my phone case because it makes my phone too heavy. Well, maybe you need to go to the fucking gym.
Right.
Seriously, though.
Phone cases are so slippery. And
how slippery are they?
That they'll fly out your goddamn hand when you don't have a case on them. But tell me a more useless job than a cell phone case. Not the case, the third part, but the actual housing of the cell phone. The guy who engineers cell phones.
I mean, the beautifully constructed glass and aluminum exterior of the cell phone?
Spun aluminum. It almost looks like
look at that. It's even got
looks like a fucking sports car. And then the guy at the cell phone sells 85% of the people who have iPhones a big clunky OtterBox. It looks like a fucking VCR tape. It's like, why design this stream?
Thank God those got better, though.
Why design these sweet streamlined cases when they're... I mean, I've always gone with the jelly cases. But, like, I see these people, these just huge... I mean, but the jelly cases make them, you know...
I'm a fan of Spigen cases, and what I like this one is I can actually protect my fucking lens.
What are you doing? Rolling on the gravel all day? Or...
No, but man, you have to admit, putting your shit inside of your pants pockets, that does eventually wear on your cameras. Makes them kind of fuzzy. You can't ever get them clean. Looks like it's always a layer of Vaseline on it.
I think that's just from the makeup you put on your face to smear on the screen. I heard a report the other day.
Here. My makeup goes here, not here.
Okay. Well,
here, not here.
Well, you have a front lens
here,
too.
Not here. Here, not here. And TikTok, can you learn portrait mode? Or I'm sorry, landscape mode?
I wish.
No.
Landscape mode?
The sad thing is, Can
anybody tell me why portrait mode is better than landscape mode? That makes sense.
On TikTok, yes, because the comments are sideways. Because one day I was out fishing and I said, you know, guys, if I went landscape, you could see the entire width of the canal instead of... And I turned it sideways. Everybody's complaining because the chat was going sideways. Yeah, it took us 10 years.
TikTok, why don't you modify or add a little program where you have an option?
Because they say, hey, fucker, we run this bitch. Now, Instagram's copying off of us. YouTube's copying off of us. Facebook's copying off of us.
We're getting all your information and passwords and passing it on to China.
Because Facebook isn't doing it anyhow.
Well, they're not passing it on to China.
Says you. You don't know what those numbskulls
Because everybody on TikTok, they like that dopamine hit.
But the point is, it took us 10, 15 years to get people to stop using Keystone when shooting videos, and now we're going back. It's like, you're filming
TikTok. I've never heard it called Keystone. I've always heard it called Portrait.
You got Keystone
is that an
and
old-timey
landscape.
term? Or is that headstone?
I'm sorry, keyhole.
Keyhole.
Yeah, like an old skeleton key. There's a good portrait mode.
Portrait.
But yeah, by the time we got everybody finally in landscape, now they went back. Do you look for ways to speed up things around the house? Every Saturday we're all stuck cleaning. Got to clean the house before I can do anything.
What'd you do this weekend? I fucking did errands and cleaned the goddamn house and cars.
Well, I finally got the rear
laundry.
I finally got the rear sprinkler put back in. Then I had to relocate after I built my fence, and then I had to mow my grass. Blah 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 blah.
You know how you get out of laundry, Mike? Fuck up a good load once.
No, because then you just end up doing your own.
Yeah, doesn't work that way.
Not me.
Yep.
We separate. She does hers.
You guys separated over laundry? Didn't
get
married
please don't
yet.
tell me your
Jesus.
all bank accounts are the same way too. If you're married. I know so many people who married people here. Like, we don't have same bank account because what if she up and takes off and drains my account? I'm like, well, then you've got fucking problems already, bud.
Gordon,
my opinion. Yeah.
You're in a block of cheese group.
Oh, I am a block of cheese guy.
Are you a block of cheese guy, Mike? Or are you pre-shredded still?
Block of cheese, my friend.
You ever find...
I just made the dogs bark.
Cheese tax. Do you want to eliminate the worry? Eliminate the worry of cleaning your cheese grater. You know, the laborious hours.
Yeah, you get a ninja.
And hours it takes to clean your old school analog cheese grater.
Oh, so you're
Seriously,
talking
hours?
about... Okay,
soak that shit in water, bud.
Hang on. You're talking about taking a block of cheese and making your own shredded cheese.
Yes, that's what the block of cheese club is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you buy your cheese in a bag that's already
Pre-sliced?
shredded, or do you buy a box that you have to shred?
Pre-shred.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Do yourself a favor. We're about a month and a half in. A block of cheese.
I got a text. Stop being loud. You're making the dogs bark.
A block of cheese. That bag is $7.
And it's full of
preservatives to keep it from sticking.
Preservatives and bullshit.
And
look at the ingredients on the bag of cheese versus a block of cheese.
Well, kind of back to my suggestion about the boneless chicken wing. Since there's more manufacturing involved, it's going to cost more money. Whereas here's a block of cheese. Only had to cut it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of shredding it and bagging it and all that stuff. So we went down the block of cheese route. So now we grate our own cheese.
It's addictive.
So according to this website, because people are concerned, they need to alleviate the worry of the laborious cheese grater cleaning process. Shredding cheese with a cheese grater is the best way to get all the cheesy goodness you want on your preferred dish. However, there's no denying that cheese graters are nearly impossible to clean. Alleviate your worry. So this website suggests you put away the steel wool. Who the fuck uses steel wool on a cheese grater? Anyhow, you put away the steel wool and the soap, and there is better an option. You can clean your grater using a potato.
I'm wasting a potato.
Yes. And then you get all the potato chunks in there.
Yeah, my potatoes are stuck in there.
Yeah, so
especially when it gets on the back side of the really fine one nobody uses.
Shred the raw potato after you shred the cheese. It will clear the gummy cheese from the grater holes, and then you can use a shredded potato for all your sorts of food.
All right, because I'm shredding this block of cheese, I now got to make hash browns.
Right? I was going to say, well, who the fuck puts potatoes on everything?
Sounds like, oh, fuck, I'm having hash browns this weekend.
What is this
cheesy? We're going to have them smothered, covered. How do you have yours
taste
from
like that?
What is it?
Awful waffle?
Yeah.
Well, when I was going there a lot, I wasn't eating it. I was on my protein off. I was trying to get off the carbs, so I would get the cheap poor man's T-bone with eggs and bacon instead of the hash brown and no toast. But I usually just get it plain with old-fashioned ketchup. I don't get all the ham chunks and onions and all that nonsense in there. It's not my bag. I just like plain old fried taters.
Cheese? Fried taters with cheese on it.
I enjoy the taste of taters and ketchup.
It doesn't. No, it adds to. It doesn't drown out.
Mike, you're a plumber, or so you claim.
Oh shit! Maybe.
Somebody calls you and they say, "Mike, my shower head just dribbles on my head. I get pressure down at the faucet. Pressure's good everywhere, but I'm just getting little dribbles on my head." How do you tell people to clean their shower head?
Go to Home Depot and buy a new one.
There's a lot of different variables there, bud.
Yeah, depends on what's clogging it up and what's causing the issue.
I mean,
is it a mixing valve?
The exterior of the shower head. I mean, if you look at
what if they said it's white and scaly?
White and scaly.
Let me guess. A bag with
vinegar
in it,
opposed to a bottle of CLR.
Well, that'll just take the finish right off. Especially if it's chromed plastic.
Why did I bring Finland into this?
If I go to a customer's house and I
could have said the Polish.
Oh, my shower head, it sprays all different kinds of ways and the pressure's not that good and all that. So I'll take the shower head.
It's like peeing after sex.
And I'll actually take it under the faucet. And
I didn't say dry docking.
I'll take. Sometimes I'll take like a needle or something like that, and I'll actually poke out each individual nipple.
Now you're getting paid by the hour.
Of course, you're getting paid by the hour.
Boy, that was expensive. I might as well just bought a new fucking shower head.
Nope. Yeah. According to our friends at investing.com, Mike, you're absolutely wrong. Gordon, you're absolutely correct. Your shower is an essential part of your day or night, and is definitely a place that is ripe for cleaning hacks. Cleaning your shower head might not seem as pressing to you as cleaning the tub or the walls of the shower itself, but it's still bacteria prone. Clean your shower head. Fill the plastic bag halfway with white vinegar. Now, don't overfill the plastic bag.
Heinz vinegar.
The vinegar could overflow when you submerge your shower head into it. Okay, then what's the worst that happens? You get vinegar in your fucking bathtub.
Hi, I just moved out of my parents' house. I need to know how to clean this shower head in this piece of shit apartment I just moved into.
This next one might actually be worth looking into.
No.
So wait a minute now.
Inline booster?
For anybody that's curious, you don't need to do that. If you're taking a shower, look at your shower head and rub your damn thumb across the face of the damn shower head and you're good to go. It fixes it right up.
Ew, that's gross.
A weekly maintenance ritual, huh?
Yeah.
I got one plumbing question for you.
Mm-hmm. No.
Last one. So our water pressure out here is 40 psi and less.
That's fucking garbage.
Well, I live in a desert that's running out of water. Which is funny because California says they got so much rain now, they've gotten rid of their water restrictions. They're like, the lake's still empty.
And all that snow.
Yeah, but they can't capture that water.
Because they ain't trying hard
inline boosters. You know anything about those?
A little bit.
Are they worth it?
How old is your house?
7 years.
Less than 10.
Less than 10?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. What kind of pipe do you have?
What is installed these days everywhere?
PEX.
You got it.
Go for it. I say go for it. If it's older than about 10 years and you've got like older system like CPVC or something like that, absolutely not.
With the bad fittings?
Well, that you're talking like polybutylene, but
that just sounds healthy to run water through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was dating this girl, and she called me one night.
Is she a polybutylene?
She was kind of nervous. She said, I got something to tell you. I said, what's that? She said, I came back from the doctor, and I was diagnosed with polybutylene. I never talked to her again.
Apparently it was laying some pipe.
What about water stains on your coffee table?
What do I?
What?
Water stains from your glass, because people don't know how to use coasters.
How do you cleaner
from wood?
On wood? Can I guess?
Sure.
Heating it
with what?
Blow dryer.
And
I don't know.
I got a heat gun. Will that work?
I think if you own a heat gun, you're well past investing.com's home hacks. Just like if you have linseed oil. If you have a heat gun and linseed oil, you don't need this. But if you don't know what linseed oil or a heat gun is, then you can suffer with a hair dryer and olive oil. When it comes to hardwood, water stains is the most... I think it's...
Just don't say hardwood and dry docking, please.
How many people have hardwood floors with water stains from like cups and shit? Very few.
Probably people who live in older homes.
Well,
I have vinyl hardwood floors.
Well, I'm just saying.
I do too.
When I see this image, they show all the water rings from all the glasses, but most people don't have solid wood coffee tables anymore. It's that pressure treated shit,
and which is fucking garbage,
and it just bubbles up
of it within a year.
So and it just bubbles up. So we want to read this hack because
is laser printed fucking paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's particle board.
Yeah.
With with contact paper on the outside.
It's like the shit when you were
reminds me of a Subaru Samurai.
Before you knew about what's that shit called, that wood that you use for subwoofer boxes nowadays.
Oh,
Masonite, not Masonite.
Yeah, we used to call it Masonite.
CSB or
not OBX.
No, something strand board. Correlated strand board. CSB
pressed cardboard.
I think it's CSB. Yeah. Before that, we used to use fucking particle board shit.
Yeah.
Just fucking put that box together and you know, whatever happens, you fucking, you know, get moisture or something like that in your trunk and you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing would just fucking explode.
All your joints would pop.
Yeah, particle board is fucking garbage. I use that shit for cabinets and stuff when I'm working into a cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Everything
you do.
If you don't have if you're trying to use a hole saw, it's just going to blow out the back. The front will look fine. The back will just blow out.
Yeah.
Well, the trick is you're supposed to go from both sides. You got to score it in one way, then you got to flip around the other direction.
These people have expensive houses and stuff like that, and they have
with garbage fucking.
Speaking of hacks,
garbage.
I saw the best hack. How many times have you gone to drill a hole with a hole saw? You drilled your hole.
Oh, I know where you're going with this one.
And then it turns out your hole's too small. You got to go to the next size, 2 sizes up. You're like, fuck. Do you know how to get around that issue, Mike?
Didn't you post this on TikTok?
I shared it in somebody's video who did it.
I saw it.
You take the
fuck's sake.
You take the original hole saw.
Jeez. Is he from Canada?
I think so. You take the original hole saw, screw it onto the arbor with the new sized hole saw. So now that the original hole saw is acting like a new arbor to fit in that hole, so you can then cut.
So you put the new inside you put the smaller one inside the bigger one.
Correct. You leave the bigger one on the arbor at the end, and then you just screw the smaller one into it and use it as a guide because it's already the same size hole that you already fucked up and cut to begin with.
Yeah,
the Band-Aid one was good that he did.
Yeah, that guy on TikTok. I see his fucking videos all the time. He's like,
yeah, he's in your algorithm.
Fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake. I hate this.
No fucking way.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, what? Did you actually see his name? His TikTok name is What No Way. What? No way.
No way.
That's his actual name. Is what? No way.
No way. Fuck's sakes.
Fishing report. They're finally picking up, Mike. They're finally picking up.
Is it Dink Central?
We were doing a lot of seawall fishing over the last few weeks because it's been too goddamn windy. It's been like anywhere between 18 to 22 mile-an-hour gust of winds, and if it's over 12, forget about it.
For those of you not from Southwest Florida, seawall fishing isn't fishing on a wall at the sea. It is
a wall in front of any form of water.
Like canal, lake,
okay. Ocean, sea.
But when you mean it, you mean freshwater, right?
I just mean any clear bank, really. And so we've been seawall fishing, and been picking up a little bit here and there, getting some dinks. We went out to Gator Circle yesterday, and we were getting action right off the bat. I lost like 4 and landed 2. She lost like 5 and landed 2, but they're finally starting to hit again. So things are starting to roll back around, and I'm excited for that.
Good.
I just opened. This is how bad because when the bite's not hot, I get so bored.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to go.
I don't know how people. Well, I do. The
fishing just ain't fast enough for me.
Well, that's when we fish. We don't throw. You won't see a fucking bobber anywhere near my boat.
No, I get that. I just need shit coming at me 100 miles an hour.
Throw a whopper plopper. Run a speed worm.
But like I get subscription.
What?
Box.
No way.
Actually, right there.
Mm-hmm.
I get that every month, and the last time I went, I can't say that because I went across the street in the little lake behind Target, and I caught a few small ones. But the last time before that, I went with you, and I just got a new box today.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was today or yesterday.
From Carl's or the other one?
Monster Bass.
No, I got mystery tackle box.
Yeah, you do the other guys.
Yeah, I got that crankbait that came in this month. I've already caught like 3 or 4 fish on.
I had the one box on I came into the office because I was getting ready for the podcast, and I was like, I have 2 boxes here, and I picked up one, and I was like, oh, this must be the new one, and then I picked up the other one. Both of them were not even open yet.
Nice.
I was like, what the fuck?
Like Christmas.
I haven't touched them in 2 months.
That's
2 months. 2 subscriptions came in, and I haven't even fucking looked at them yet.
Oh, you've been busy as shit, right?
I just opened them.
Well, that's kind of like me at Dollar Shave Club. I signed up with them like 12 years ago. I got some goddamn razor cartridges laying around because it's only $3 a month. It ain't worth my time to pause my account.
I actually canceled mine. 2 months in a row, the shit didn't show up.
Really? Somebody's stealing it. Mine comes every time.
They get a book.
Well, the problem is Dollar Shave Club is now owned by Unilever, so they went corporate.
Well, it don't matter.
With every box.
Yeah.
And it gives you a breakdown of every single bait that's inside that box.
Yep.
Which I think is really cool. I think Mystery does that too.
Yeah, what a lot of people do is they just
old
buy
toilet reading.
They buy the mystery tackle box or that one for what is it, like $20 a month? You get like $38, $50 worth of shit, and then they just sell them on eBay at retail price and make them more money. That's why I've been getting all my Google Whopper ploppers. I just go to eBay and buy them off somebody for $13 and got them in a $15 mystery box.
Yeah, I was for the last, I think, like year and a half, I've gotten a Monster Bass box, and I'm an ambassador with them, and so I get a pretty good discount on the monthly. But I stopped it for 1 month in December, and it wasn't going to restart until January. So I emailed them. I was like, "Yeah, I just I want to stop." And they're like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, but you're an ambassador." Oh. We can pause it for you for a month. It's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I want to pause it. So we had Christmas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, get another fucking box in the mail or whatever. So I was worrying about spending money for my kid.
Just throw a bow on it and send it my way. Merry Christmas. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I opened it up. I opened both boxes up, and I was like, holy shit, there's some good stuff in here.
Yep. I just got to get it on the boat.
Yep, I know. We got to do some saltwater fishing though too.
Mm-hmm. So what's going on in your neck of the world, Gordon? Getting ready for your road travels?
Getting ready for my road travels. Sitting here watching, listening to the drum beats get slowly louder and more up tempo.
You ain't talking about World War III, are you?
Yeah, I guess some Russians decided to hot dog with that Reaper drone. Brought it down. in international waters.
Yeah, that was nice. That
NATO,
was an
Russia.
accident.
Yeah, just an accident. From Fox, here's just a headline. Use of nuclear weapons would be the end of North Korean regime, according to Pentagon.
Well, I thanks fucking ridiculous. So Russia and China. And
I can't do it.
They're throwing their weight around, and part of the reason for it is because we have agreed to sell Australia some nuclear-powered submarines, not nuclear firing. Well, I'm sure they're capable of doing that. We're not selling them nuclear warheads. We're selling them nuclear-powered submarines in 2040, quite a while from now. And so Russia and China are saying, hey, you guys broke the no nuke pact. You're not supposed to be providing nukes to foreign governments. It's like it's a submarine. We're not selling them,
nuclear power.
We're not selling them warheads or, uranium. We're selling them a fucking vehicle that is energized by this stuff. We ain't
selling them warheads on foreheads, but we are selling them the
vehicle to transfer it. But that's like, you guys are looking for a reason.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
U.S. Air Force unveils mutant missile that can twist in the air and change directions faster. Sweet.
You were talking about Joe Rogan podcast earlier, Mike, before we came on.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the physicist who was on there the other day. And Joe was trying to get him to acknowledge whether or not UFOs exist because, as you may or may not know, the Pentagon just happened to put a report.
Hold on. Pentagon officials suggest alien mothership in our solar system could send mini probes to Earth.
And so Joe,
nobody's talking about it.
That's because we're all narcissists. But Joe was trying to get this physicist to either admit or flat out deny the possibility, or there's no way in hell possibility of the existence of UFOs. And in a long interview, he kind of explained how he's come around a little bit, but ever since back in the day, his whole thing was, when it came to aliens, this was the modern day government's equivalent of the Ghost Army of World War II, which was when we were planning D-Day, we intentionally leaked out information to the French resistance, who then purposely leaked out to the Germans that we were going to start the landings further north. And then we sent inflatable tanks, which, by the way, Ukraine's doing that again. Inflatable tanks, inflatable jeeps, the Ghost Army, they actually sent Patton up there so that the French people say, oh, Patton's here, and be in the newspaper.
Basically, classic misdirection.
Yes, classic misdirection. And so he was basically saying that anytime the government, anytime somebody would talk about UFOs and space shuttles, it was just a way to cover up shit we're working on, like back in the 70s and 80s when the stealth bomber and the SR-71 Black were flying around. Right when we were developing and planning and test flight. That's when all these UFO sightings came out.
When I first moved here, because we got Nellis, I saw my first B-2 bomber in the air.
Yep.
First thing I thought was, no wonder people thought they saw UFOs back in the fucking day.
And so his hypothesis was, he started going down the rabbit hole a little bit about perhaps the legitimacy of it, but a big part of him was, I just think we're probably going to test some new military equipment out, so we need to put the subterfuge up there so if people see lights, that's just a mothership and the drones, not anything the government.
That's just a pending alien invasion. Pay no mind.
Go back to TikTok.
It's not a Chinese weather balloon. It's just extraterrestrial.
It is crazy, though, that our government essentially put this out there and no one's talking about it. Mothership.
Oh, no, because the slap and is Chris Rock and going to show back up on the Oscars is, more important.
Yeah, but no one outside of the industry is talking about that.
I'm curious.
Bi-curious?
No.
There's nothing wrong with that if you
walk right into that one.
I'm curious. What's your guys' stance on life outside of our planet?
I will quote from the movie Contact because it makes sense. Actually, I will paraphrase. Basically, if you look at the way Mother Nature runs, how is everything super efficient, right?
Sure.
All the way down to fungus and how it runs. Space is huge. To quote Matthew McConaughey, basically it'd be a great big waste of space. There's got to be something there. There's just no way. In 1 square inch, and I may have the numbers off, of what the Hubble could pick up or the new telescope, which is badass, there's hundreds of thousands of galaxies just in that little field, that's postage stamp sized field.
And then
how could there not be?
I mean, just considering the fact that on the surface of this GoPro camera, there's bacteria and life. So, as far as intelligent stuff.
Now, I did hear an interesting thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off. And this is a little political, probably could get us in trouble. And it did come from Michael Savage, but he has a point. Because, you got all these anti-abortion or these pro-abortion people saying that's not life. But yet, if we were to discover them on Mars, the news will read life discovered on Mars. A little bit of hypocrisy.
It's all about convenience.
Yep. It's all about your narrative.
As far as
my truth, it's my truth.
As far as intelligent life within reach of us,
there's none here anyway.
As far as movable beings with a brain and a heartbeat and the ability to conjure ideas, whether they're dumb or smart, goes in our solar system, I honestly borderline on the time traveler thing over
into the grave in the future.
Alien being in our solar system or within travel range of us. I'm not saying they're not out there.
Yeah, definitely not within travel.
Within travel range of us, I truly believe that anything we see or interact with will probably turn out to be, as Gordon and I once joked around about time travelers coming back to figure out when things went fucking south. And that's why we're seeing more of it now with all the shit going on, trying to figure out when did we fuck up? When can we go back?
Oh, fuck. We landed 50 years too early.
60s, like, no, they're still dumb. They moved to 90s. Okay, things are getting settled down. 2018,
they're still violent apes.
I think we're getting closer to doomsday, and now they're 2023, more showing up.
I heard a good description on the Lex Friedman podcast. A good podcast. He's a little dry sounding. Very good podcast. The guy on there, I think it's Sam Watson, called Trump a chaos monkey. I think, yeah, that's about right.
I'm sorry I don't have the physicist's name, but on the topic of aliens, I kind of like another hypothesis he put out.
And when you say aliens, do you got to be like aliens and have the crazy hair?
And most aliens are bald in most portrayals.
I'm talking about the Swiss Greek guy on Ancient Aliens.
Oh, that guy. I forget the physicist's name. He's a couple episodes back. Weinstein, I think. Not that Weinstein, but yeah, I think Eric Weinstein, something like that. Another interesting hypothesis.
Eric Weinstein, yes.
Another interesting hypothesis. And Joe pointed out that, did you notice, Joe's like, well, let me ask you a question. He's like, do you feel there's any truth that, with the exception of what we see in caves and pyramids, in modern day recordings, we didn't start getting quote unquote UFO invasions until after we dropped the atomic bomb? And Eric's like, let me float an idea. He's like, you familiar with the North Sentinel Island outside of India? Or either one of you familiar with that?
No, but I am familiar with Foo Fighters, and I thought that was before the bombs were dropped.
North Sentinel Island is an island off the coast of India. India is within governance over them, but they have a hands-off approach. And on this island live a group of indigenous people who they believe were traveling from Africa upon a boat, got lost, marooned on this island, and they've basically been untouched. There's been reports from like the 60s and 70s, and maybe early 1900s, even late 1800s. People try to land there, convert them, and they never return.
Yeah, you ever seen those movies where there's a castaway on a weird island, and then all of a sudden they're just dead?
Well, they're kind of assuming, And in modern day, there's videos. Modern day, like people come on boats and they come out and throw arrows and shit at them. And apparently.
And it's not the gods must be crazy either.
And I guess somewhere around the 80s or 90s, India basically said, hey, leave these fucking cats alone. If anybody wants to land on this island, you got to get permission from the Indian government. The Indian government will send some people out there every once in a while, some coconuts, try to establish. But for all intents and purposes, no one's really been around these people. They're
feral.
They're feral. So Eric Weinstein's example is that he's like, who's to say that we are not the North Sentinel Island of the Milky Way? And
that's absolutely true.
And that there's an India out there who has decided, hey, we're going to leave them alone, leave them to their own devices, if you want to go down there, you got to clear it with us first. He's like, now let's say you're the India of the cosmos and you have your North Sentinel planet island there and you're watching them, see how they do. Oh, look at that. They invented the internal combustion engine. You see little boats drifting around the island, You see the little technology. Then one day, you see a little atom bomb, mushroom cloud. Poof. At what point do you step in and say,
they discovered nuclear
worse? At that point, you say, okay, we better go intervene because they're going to fuck this shit up. And so his hypothesis is perhaps we're the North Sentinel island of the Milky Way, and once we started putting mushroom clouds into the atmosphere, our intergalactic India started to maybe come down and start poking around to make sure we ain't going to kill ourselves.
Check some shit out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
All right.
Clearly the kids are out of control.
Babysit these guys now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting theory.
Well, you have those conspiracy theorists who claim that that someone a while back, and I'm not into that stuff. That's why I'm having great detail. These are just things I've come across and read. Apparently that someone did some experiments and they tried to bounce sound waves off the moon, and the shit kept traveling. So they're convinced that the moon is hollow. And there's no way that the moon could possibly be hollow.
Back, though, because even if it was hollow, it still would have a skin on it that would bounce back some. So
yeah, but I guess kind of like our fish finder, depending on the surface, some of it bounces back and some of it goes deeper and keeps traveling.
Yeah.
But these people's hypothesis is that the Earth is kind of like the Death Star. It was a mode of transportation, if you will, and that we, the human beings on the planet Earth, are descendants of Martians because when we humans lived on Mars and fucked that planet up probably through nuclear war, luckily we had an escape pod, i.e. the moon, and they traveled over here, and the moon is nothing but an empty spaceship that used to populate this Earth. That's the conspiracy behind the hollow moon.
Well, that's the same thing with the flat earthers, right?
Yeah.
And the hollow earthers and all that.
Yeah, but if you think about that,
it kind of makes sense.
Space is a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's no sound in space, right?
That is incorrect.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought no one could hear you scream in space.
You can't test that theory out because you'd die. Your blood would vaporize.
Well, if you play a speaker, well, I guess we do zap sound waves to distant depths of the solar system.
Do we?
Yeah. We've been sending radio waves.
There's actually a sound bite of a sound released by NASA from a black hole at the center of the Perseus galaxy cluster, which would be pressure waves emitted from the black hole causing ripples in the cluster of stars' hot gas. So yes, you can have sound, and they think it's really weird sounding out there.
I'm sure it is, but yeah. Gordon, you ready for the news?
Oh shit, it's that time already, huh?
Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time.
All right, let me
looking at my Garmin. The battery's not dead.
Get myself prepared.
Prepared or prepaid?
A little bit of both, if I could, please.
Speaking of prepared and prepaid, if you want to support what we do over here at the D-410 network,
God knows we need the support.
Head over to what'sinyourhead.com, D-410.com, and sign up for Patreon. It'll cost you $1 a month, or head over to YouTube and just watch some of our videos. I have temporarily changed the name of our YouTube channel. You can still find it under Digital 410, but as like the other day when I was fishing, some guy stopped and said, I saw your camera. Do you have a YouTube channel? And I'm like, Digital 4, huh? So now our YouTube channel is just D410 Media. Should be a lot easier for people to find. So just go to YouTube, type in D410, all one word, media, and it'll bring you right to our page. And you can support the show simply by watching our videos and subscribing. So please do that, and that'll go a long way to help what we do around here. So now you ready for the news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Beep, 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 news.
After 40 to 50 years. What the fuck? Moonwalking astronauts will finally have sleeker, more flexible spacesuits that come in different sizes when they step onto the lunar surface later this decade.
When I saw those uniforms,
I did not know it was one size fits all.
When I saw those the original space outfits were made by Tampax. But when I first saw those spacesuits, I thought they kind of looked like a poor man's astronaut. They looked like so minimalist. It's weird.
You talking
looking.
about the black ones?
They have their white ones with the black boots that come at their knees. They must look like rubber, like gardening boots.
I think that's for the space flights, but this is actually a black and orange, pretty sleek looking spacesuit. Kind of like it. It's a little more Hollywood than in the past. Exactly what looks like remains under wraps. The company designing the next generation spacesuits, Axiom Space, said Wednesday that it plans to have new versions for training purposes for NASA later this summer. The moon suits will be white. Sorry, not black. Bad picture. Fuck you, AP. I'm
looking at it, and every picture they have is black, but I guess it would make sense, especially if you're doing spacewalk. You don't want your astronaut to blend into the background.
Or burn up from the heat.
Yeah.
Because you need to reflect it. Moon suits will be white like they were during NASA's Apollo program more than half a century ago. It was close, am I guessing? According to the company, they were so that they reflect the heat and keep future moonwalkers cool, as I thought. That's pretty common sense, in my opinion. The suits provide greater flexibility and more protection from the moon's harsh environment and will come in wider ranges of sizes, according to the Houston-based company. NASA awarded Axiom Space a $228.5 million contract to provide the outfits for the first moon landing in more than 50 years. The space agency is targeting late 2025 at the earliest to land 2 astronauts on the moon's south pole. Better get there before China claims it all. In Wednesday's event in Houston, Axiom employee modeled the dark space suit, doing squats and twisting and waist to demonstrate its flexibility. The company said that the final versions will be different, including the color. I don't want anybody to get it mixed up. According to Alston's Russell Ralston, with the colors, this is kind of what it is. So basically the demo version's in black, which obviously looks way cooler, easier to sell that way, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And then they'll say colors may vary on final product. So we got that. Next story. Is I got two animal stories.
Aww.
Because we like animals around here. Coming in from the AP, the beloved and yet debated French Bulldog has become United States' top dog breed.
Pshaw.
They all sound like 500-year-old men trying to run a marathon when they're at a dog park.
Mm-hmm. You hear my betterment night. That's
actually, Oliver is pretty noisy, too. For the first time in 3 decades, the U.S. has a new favorite dog breed. In 3 decades, do the math, 30 years.
So Labradors, Beagles.
Adorable in some eyes, deplorable in others. The sturdy, pushed-faced, perky-eared, world-weary looking, and distinctively droll French Bulldog becomes the nation's most prevalent purebred dogs. Let's pop my P's a little bit more.
Someone was trying to get their adjective quota filled for this month, and they wrote that article.
Yes, they were. Fuck. The club announced Wednesday Frenchies outlasted Labrador retrievers from they wrestled them. They ousted them from the top spot after recording a record 31 years. Why, one may ask? Well, they're comical, friendly, loving little dogs.
And they're all over TikTok.
Says French Bulldog Club of America spokesman Patty Sosa. Oh, it's not last name Creed. City friendly with modest grooming and exercise needs. Well, they need a little bit more. She says they offer a lot in a small package. Yet the Frenchie's dizzying rise, which wasn't even top 75 breed a quarter century ago, worries its fans, to say nothing of its critics.
Well, that's because they're upset that their favorite dog could possibly run you $20,000.
Yeah, after medical expenses.
Oh no, probably just more. Like the retail price on some of those are fucking ridiculous.
Oh, wow. The buzzy little bulldogs have been targeted in thefts, including last month's fatal shooting of a 76-year-old South Carolina breeder and the 2021 shooting of a California dog walker who was squiring singer Lady Gaga's pets. Squiring? Boy, yeah. This one's reaching deep for some words.
Lady
They're
Gaga.
concerned that the demand plus the premium that some buyers will pay for exotic coat colors and textures is endearing quick buck breeders to unhealthy dogs. One could say that of my Blue Merle Cavalier. The breed's popularity is sharpening the debate over whether there's anything healthy about propagating dogs prone to breathing, spinal, eye, and skin conditions.
Well, we've already said, I think New Zealand and a few other countries already outlawed the breeding of those dogs.
AKC's popularity rankings cover 200 breeds in the nation's oldest canine registry. Is the nation's oldest. It shouldn't say in, but is the nation's oldest canine registry. The stats are being based on nearly 716,500 puppies. That's a lot of fucking puppies. And other dogs newly registered last year. About 1 in every 7 of them were Frenchies.
That's insane.
Wow.
I mean, I do see them all over the place, especially at the dog park. Then our dog park is very Boston heavy as well. But then again, 5 of them run by one dude, so.
you got your AP News out of Cincinnati. Cocaine cat. Escaped owner will now live in Cincinnati Zoo. And it's funny. You know what kind of cat this is?
Is it in relation to the cocaine bear?
No, but a family member has a couple of these. An African serval cat was found with cocaine in its system after it escaped at a traffic stop. Now calls a Cincinnati Zoo home.
Servals are crazy without the cocaine.
Can you imagine that?
Our stepsister has a couple.
Well, she has one. I don't know if she has a couple.
No, she's got 2.
Oh, she's going to breed them now?
Yeah, I don't know, but all I know is she posted what happened to her blinds one day when they saw a bird.
Yeah.
One of them saw a bird. Anyway, to much of the delight of social media users, still amused at the release of the recent movie Cocaine Bear. The Wildcat story has trended online, where users relished in the absurdity of the horror comedy with riffs of the true story of the 175 black-bound bear that was found dead near the duffel bag. Yeah, that's what the movie's based on, a dead bear near bag. Jesus, more alliteration today. But when that dead bear was found near bag, there was some $200 million worth of cocaine.
Yep.
Social media users have predictably dubbed the serval the cocaine cat.
I'm sure
the slender feline made its escape after its owner was pulled over by police on January 28th, according to local animal control officials. It then leapt from the car and into a tree, and it probably didn't leap hard. Ray Anderson of Cincinnati Animal Care said that the local animal control Hamilton County dog wardens were called at around 2 a.m. in the residential Oakley neighborhood. In Ohio, it is illegal to own the animals, which can weigh up to 40 pounds.
Well, shit, ferrets were still legal there until I was in high school.
I thought they were still legal.
No, they finally legalized them when I was in high school.
Those things stink anyway. During the rescue mission, the cat named Amiri broke its leg and became more agitated. Once Amiri was taken for medical care by the Cincinnati Animal Care, the team ran a drug test, which they determined. How often does people run drug tests on animals?
Quite often now with the proliferation of gummy THCs.
Yeah. They determined that Emory had cocaine in its system. It is not the first time Cincinnati Animal Care has been operating as a county animal shelter, has had wild animals test positive for drugs. 2022, the group took in a Chopchin monkey named Neo that had methamphetamine in its system.
Meth monkey.
I thought that area was more for like heroin and stuff.
But, so like we're performing the Guardians of the Galaxy of hopped up animals on amphetamines and drugs.
Yeah. Since the case, it has become standard procedure for the shelter to test exotic animals that arrive at the shelter for drugs. Anderson confirmed that the owner of Emory was relinquished custody of the cat to the Cincinnati Animal Care before it was taken into the care, because we like to use the word care so much, of the Cincinnati Zoo. Servals have grown in popularity, with some showing up in TikTok videos as pets. Julia Sheldon, clinical assistant professor in zoo medicine at the University of Tennessee, said serval is a major responsibility that requires a balanced diet, raw chicken, and specialized care beyond a house cat.
Yep.
There are better options for pets. Yeah, I would say so, and way more safe, economical. Although I would say that would be a theft deterrent.
Remember the quaint days when a nice Bengal cat was considered exotic? Bang will hold my beer. We're going Serval.
And that thing's still cornered to you, right?
Yeah, every once in a while you get a hair up his ass.
Yeah. Well, cats are predators. One more story. I always thought as people grew older, they grew wiser and maybe were less prone to criminal activity. Not the case for this 82-year-old who was charged with the sale of fake Michael Jordan cards. I'm not a card collector. Don't know if there's any in the room.
Nope.
Like trading cards?
Yes.
No, playing cards.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There's mud. New York AP. An 82-year-old Colorado man was charged Wednesday for selling and trading fake Michael Jordan basketball cards in a scheme that prosecutors said resulted him in making more than
$2.3 million.
Mike?
$1 million.
$800,000 over 4 years. Mike, you're the closest.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you.
Mayo, M-A-Y-O, Gilbert McNeil. Is that short for mayonnaise? Please tell me that's short for mayonnaise. Was arrested in Denver, where he lives, according to the complaint that was unsealed in federal court in Brooklyn, charging him with a conspiracy to commit wire fraud, according to Brooklyn U.S. Attorney's Office.
For overstate lines.
The real McNeil, actually he's the fake McNeil, apparently, was accused of making numerous fraudulent deals beginning in 2015, including the 2019 sale of a counterfeit card to a victim in Manhasset, New York, for $4,500. And in a 2017 deal where he traded 2 counterfeit cards for 2 authentic Tom Brady football cards. Mr. McNeil defrauded sports memorabilia collectors of more than $800K by intentionally misrepresenting the authenticity. See if they just took it to the gold and silver pawn shop.
I wonder who's printing up these cards. I wonder who's printing them up.
Of trading the cards he was peddling, when in fact they were counterfeit. According to Michael Driscoll, an assistant director in charge of the FBI's New York field, we got FBI's going after trading cards.
Yep.
Said in a news release. In a brief phone call, McNeil said that he was released without bail after an initial appearance in the U.S. District Court located in Colorado.
There's no photo of this guy either.
I did nothing wrong. Prosecutors, sorry, I usually copy and paste, but I didn't today. Prosecutors said he will appear in a New York courtroom at a later date. So, old man hawks fake memorabilia.
Outstanding.
Sounds like a tale as old as time, but usually maybe 40 years less is the perpetrator, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That, outside of the drums of war, is all I've got for the news.
And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the What's in Your Head podcast. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night. The week's almost over. The weekend is on its way. 2 more days and we'll be out to play. I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. And as we said earlier, please head over to what'sinyourhead.com, click on that Patreon link, sign up and subscribe. And then while you're there, just go to YouTube and look for D410 Media and subscribe and watch all of our videos. Thank you guys so much. For myself and Mike, we will talk to you all next week.
This has been a Digital 410 production.